Hi, welcome back to My Life with Kidney Disease. Today is a great day outside in Tucson. It's like 86, but it's really humid, so yuck. From the apartment, it looks like it's a delightful day out there, and you should go out there and enjoy it. And then you go out there by opening the door, and you can't hardly breathe because the humidity is so dang thick. So, anyhow, on days like this, I find that it is really important to be cautious about your port area because I feel like the humidity in the air makes your skin act a certain way, which makes the adhesive on your island dressing or your tape just stick terribly. So I have three little spots in the lower corner where my island dressing sits, where I've pulled up the skin because the skin is so delicate there, especially on ladies because we've had babies. And so whether it's a stretch mark or whether it's just delicate skin there, it's just a nightmare. And it happens a couple times a year. You just have to be very careful. Typically, you're given something like this called Skin Prep. Davita gives me a whole box of them because, I do dialysis so much. So I'm sure, though, that you can ask your clinic and they'll be able to give you some. It's a weird, wet towelette thing. And you don't want your tubing to be drenched in it. Like it's really just to put on top of your skin for the area that your island dressing is going to adhere to so that it's not so tacky. It'll still stick nicely, like it's still there, whatever, but you just don't want it to be so sticky that it's so hard to pull off. Now, one of the things I realize, though, is if it is really difficult to pull off, you can, when you take a shower, just leave your island dressing on and let the water hit it, and then it will actually help get the stickiness off, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. And it's easier to take off, especially if you're like an everyday showerer. But you just want to be careful with that port area because it gets really, really itchy. So if you've ever broke your arm or leg or something where you had a cast, you know the itchy that I'm talking about. It's like it can't be unitched. So you're just trying to survive it because it is so dang itchy. And the problem is that skin underneath your port is thin. And it's very like, or underneath your bandage, I should say, not your port. It's on top of your port. That's the tubing that comes out of your body. And so you have to be careful because that skin is very fragile. And I will admit that it's so hard to not just scratch the crap out of it. In the shower, I will actually, get in and then I will wash my hands because I always put my antibacterial soap in the shower with me. So by every one of my sinks, there's antibacterial soap, and then there's also one in the bathroom, in the shower. So that way I have it available for me while I'm in there. What I'll do is wash my hands and then lather up really well and wash my port area. But the skin is so sensitive. And the antibacterial soap should not burn it, by the way, because it should not be broken skin. So it's just a delightful massaging feeling when you finally get that island dressing off and you're cleaning that area that doesn't get touched by anything other than island dressing, and you're able to scratch that itch. And it is one of the most wonderful feelings to have, but you can certainly go overboard with it. It's also important that so because I did pull up some of my skin and it bled, I can't put the island dressing back on top of that area because it's just really hard for my body to heal any wounds, mostly because I have heparin in my system, because I use heparin in my bags. But also because with kidney disease, your body's just trying to pick what needs to be healed fastest. So it's not going to really, I don't think it really heads over to something like a small little cut necessarily. Like, I'm not bleeding out, but definitely there's some little marks there. So what I did is I actually cut the corner of my island dressing. Let me show you. So remember, the island dressing is like this. So it has that gauze right in the middle there. So this is all the sticky that goes around your port. And then at some point your port tube will come out, and that's where it comes out. And you have to tape it onto your body. But this is what's going to cover it and keep it safe and keep the germs out. That's why we do this. For those who don't have that provided by your clinic, I'm really sorry, because that's crap. Like, everybody should have that. There's no reason to not have that, especially with the stuff they're starting to take away from us. If you're on Medicare, you can get those, I believe, on Amazon. I want to say like $15 for a whole package of them, so that's worth it, I guess. But if you have insurance, hopefully maybe you could figure something out that way. But anyways, I just get mine from DaVita, which is really super cool. I also get the skin prep from DaVita, which is really cool of them to do. So that way I'm double protected. But I ended up cutting off a corner of the, like just right here, so that there was still some sticky there. But that way I could lay it down, and then the part that I had ripped off, the skin I had ripped, could actually heal and take time. And it did actually hurt. I don't know if you've ever had an abrasion, but it hurts because the air hits it. It doesn't really hurt because you're super injured. It's just that air that hits it that makes it burn. So I suffered probably a couple hours with that, just because the burning of the air and it being fresh to the air, because I had my bandage on top of it. It's awful. I have had times where I accidentally forgot and I put the bandage on there, and then I start to pull it off, and it's just going to pull the scab off. That's the problem. And the bigger issue is that if you have an injury there, or let's say you scratch yourself under by your port tube, then you have to be careful that you don't get infection. And infection likes to grow in the moisty area of yourself. So that's like a perfect little place for bacteria to want to develop. That's why it's really important to use your gentamicin cream and to make sure that you're taking the proper cleaning precautions. I know that they're taking Alcavis away, which is really stupid and frustrating to me, because there were so many hours that we spent learning how to use Alcavis to disinfect everything. But they're taking that away, and I'm assuming they're just going to keep Ecept, which the difference is that Alcavis is used on your connecting areas to keep it disinfected. So I believe it has more bleach in it than the Ecept does, and the Ecept is for your skin specifically. So that's what you're using to clean your port area. And I'm just hoping that they don't take that away, because that would be ridiculous. Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't understand how people who aren't on dialysis make the decisions for people who are on dialysis. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I would love to be an advocate and say, hey, Congress or whoever, let me tell you what day-to-day happens, because it's a lot. It's a lot, especially with PD dialysis. Hemodialysis, I don't know enough about, because that's just not what I do. And again, the difference between is that hemodialysis is blood dialysis, so you go to the center. And actually, you can do it now at home, which is super cool, but Basically, you go to the center a couple times a week and you have your blood completely taken out of your body, cleaned, recycled, and put back in you, all in one sitting, which takes a couple hours. Whereas I'm PD dialysis, so I use my peritoneum to act as my kidney filtering system, basically. Which so far has worked really well. I mean, it's been 5 years, so things are still doing okay. It's just these days that are so humid that it just makes my port area itchy. So, and you know, it's terrible too, because once you scratch, like the first time, even if you're scratching on top of the island dressing, it really does still affect the skin underneath. Like, you can still scratch yourself or injure yourself if you're not careful. Plus, your tube is coming onto your body there. You don't want to accidentally, like, aggressively scratch and then rip that out. That would be terrible. Which is my biggest fear with dialysis, is having that tube ripped out of my body. And I've watched a lot of scary horror shows, so I think that's kind of where I get that idea from. But I don't want to say that it could never happen, right? So anyways, that's all I got today. Hope you have a good day. Drink your water. Even though it's humid and not so hot, your body still needs the water. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.